Feet on the earth, hearts in this moment. Let's begin. So that music is so funny because I was like just going through. They have like ones on the thing. Yeah, like it's like on the software. So like you have rights and everything to it. So I was just like going through them. One of these is gonna be good enough. And that one just like immediately I'm like, I need one. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I sent it to my sister because she listens. And she's like, my God, the beginning sounds like Halloween Town.
Pay closer attention.
She's like, it's so perfect. It sounds like the intro to Halloween Town.
I'll have to pay closer attention when I listen to the next episode.
Yeah. No, it was then I was like, no wonder I liked it so much. I love Halloween Town. It's like one of my favorite movies. Like every time around, like,
Yeah.
whatever fall
Yeah. Now.
equinox or whatever. Yeah, around now is like to watch my typical, I've gotta watch Practical Magic. Practical Magic 2 will be coming. Yeah.
That's correct. I saw that. So September.
Yeah. It's gonna take forever. But we'll be able to watch Practical Magic 2. But yeah, Practical Magic, Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus. I feel like there's one more that I always watch. There's another witchy one that I always pull up. And I don't remember what it is right now. But yeah, that's like my fall lineup. And I usually also restart Gilmore Girls. Because I don't know, Gilmore Girls is totally a like fall winter show for me. I don't know why.
Never seen it.
You never seen it?
I've seen a little episodes or part episodes over the years, but no.
Yeah. Me and my sister bonded over it a lot. Especially as you know, I kind of raised my sister, and so to us, the relationship between Lorelai and Rory was very similar to our relationship. So I think we had that like there's that extra bond of it, even though I wasn't her mom. Yeah, I watched Charmed.
Yeah, I never watched Charmed. My mom used to watch Charmed, and I always wanted to. Like, I wanted to sit down and get into it, and I didn't way back when. Yeah. And then now it's like it's on one of the streaming apps, and it's like I can really just sit down and start watching Charmed, and I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I watched it a long time ago.
There's no reason not to. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I watched it a long time ago. I was like a teenager at the time. And I remember like I liked it, but it wasn't like, oh my God. So I never really went back to it. But I wonder if it would be different now that I'm an adult. Because I have found a lot of things as I've gotten older, like they hit different when you're older.
Yeah. So what are share with us what you like to watch too. Like what are you listening to? Is there a witchy podcast or a grooming podcast that you listen to, or is there a TV show or a movie that you like that's witchy or something? Share it with us, because if we haven't seen it, I would like to.
I also really I like to watch The Good Witch. It's the Hallmark.
Yeah.
They have the movie and the show.
I think I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Don't think I've seen. Oh, The Craft.
Well, The Craft is good too. Yeah. But yeah, Good Witch they had that movie and then they did a show afterwards. It went on for 3 or 4 seasons, I think. It was really good show, and I loved the movie. So I at least watch the movie. Sometimes I'll watch the show. And when I say watch these shows, I mean I'm going to have them on as background noise. Yeah. The only time that stuff is not a background noise is when I'm watching K-dramas. Because it takes a lot of concentration. Worth it. Yeah. We just watched a show last night. Movie, K-drama called Parasite, and it was basically like, you've seen it? Yeah, it was Yeah, well, that's why we watched it.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, it was
Fucking insane, but excellent.
yeah, it was good. Though I will say I got real annoyed with most K-dramas they don't do where they throw in random English sentences, and they would throw in random English sentences for no reason. Most of the K-dramas I watch, like if they say things in English, it's because they're talking to someone who speaks English. Like they don't just throw that in with their Korean. And that one threw me off so much. I'm like, why did they say that? But it was a good movie, yeah. Yeah, so random thoughts. That's the only that's pretty much the only time I'm like paying attention to the show.
I was also looking for like animated movies that have kind of a witchy theme. Which a lot of Disney movies, obviously, there there's the witch, it's always a wicked witch, right? But there's some movies that kind of have some magical elements to them, and so I try to look for those, especially with the girls.
So
they'll turn me on to shows that are
So I have a thing for Hallmark movies, especially like the Christmas ones. And I know that they're very much like based in like, well, yeah, that's what I love about it though. Like I love that it's cheesy and I love that it's the formula. I know exactly what's going to happen. So that's the same thing with I've been watching, they're called boy love K-dramas. And so it's like romance ones and it's just like, but they don't, like in Korea being gay is still like, and so they're like very, very like wholesome. And I love that. And it's always the same formula. Like I know on episode 8 that they're going to get into a fight. And that's why I love Hallmark, because it's just one of those things it's comforting. It's easy. I like those.
Hey,
yeah, it's an escape.
I think for the most part, that's what you should be doing when you're watching a movie or or a television or a show. It's to escape reality.
Yeah.
So you want it to be kind of cheesy and
But if you watch these Hallmark movies, especially the Christmas ones, I know that they're based more in Christianity, but there is so much magic. Like they always have the little like twinkle when like magic Santa happens. Like that's magic. Yeah, but like that helped me not feel as like, because I used to feel kind of embarrassed that I liked them, but it made me feel better. I'm like, that's magic.
A lot of people that like them. It's it's kind of their their hidden guilty pleasure.
Yep.
I've never really cared for them. Not because of the Christian aspect. I just don't care for the hokey boy meets girl.
Yeah.
Boy rescues girl.
It's so wholesome,
they
though.
live in a small town, and it's just like, oh, really?
I love it.
Yeah, good for you.
It's just so wholesome. And like, I also love that I don't have to see like naked humans. Like, I
like naked humans. Give me the naked humans. I want the naked
just
humans.
like when I'm trying to escape, I don't want to see naked humans. First of all, I feel like males kind of got gypped. Like, they got some good parts, but as far as the look, it just sticks out. It doesn't belong.
I don't really find the male forms that attractive. Oh my God, we were watching a movie yesterday. Oh, I don't even know. Something about the palm of my hand or something like that. I don't even know what it was. So the main actor is also in this movie called Bang Bang that was only released in a few theaters like over the weekend, and we want to see it. It's about a boxer. Sam wants to see it. I should say I'm going along for the ride, but the trailer made it look pretty good. But anyways, so he found this other movie that just had the same actor in it, who of course, I can't think of his name, but it was kind of bizarre. Him and his teenage daughter are living in their homeless storage unit. They steal bikes to sell for money and this and that. Well, by the end, obviously they're discovered. It's bad. He ends up in the hospital. It turns out he kidnapped her, but they never really tell you the details of that. But there's a scene where they run into these college kids that are doing rituals in a basement. And then later, she runs into them again by herself. And then she follows one of the female college students back to the dorm. And so while she's standing at her door, the guy walks up, but he's walking down the hall and he's just got a robe on, wide open. And you don't see it really till he gets right there, but I don't know what's going on with the dude's penis, but it's I don't know if he's got something on it or if it's painted. It had all these multicolored stripes, and I said to him, what the hell's going on with this dude? I don't know what that is.
We're not going to talk about that.
Anyways, yeah, that's so nudity. I don't care, but yeah, that was what? I don't.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know.
I do appreciate nowadays, because it used to be the only nudity it was just gratuitous nudity. It has no place. And it was only women. You'd only ever see naked women. You wouldn't even see a naked dude. You would never see a dude's naked butt.
Yeah.
They just, oh my God, they just never showed you any males. And I will say that has changed. If we're going to put it out there, put it all out there.
I don't know. I just prefer tasteful side boob instead of right in my face kind of thing. I don't.
It just depends on what I'm watching.
Yeah. I guess too that what I'm watching and what I'm expecting. Sometimes they're just coming out of left field with some nudity, and I'm like, why?
Right, and I feel that. I just feel that. I don't get the point of that.
We're why are they naked?
Why is there a sex scene in the middle of this, murder movie, whatever, it's just, it really,
yeah.
We can get the idea without actually having to see anything.
Yeah.
So I do get that. I don't need it. It doesn't make or break a movie for me. It just doesn't bother me. If it's whatever.
Yeah. Wholesomeness. It's just all of that up to a kiss. All right. So, sidetracked.
Where are we at?
So, first, we're talk about the current moon, which we're still in last quarter.
That's
Gemini.
That's we're recording.
Yep. The moon is in Gemini.
So let me. Do you want me to check now when it's
yeah.
When this episode drops, it will be October 9th or around. Plan is October 9th is when this one will drop. And at that time, it will be a waning gibbous, which is, and I'm going to read this now, even though I'll probably read it again later. This moon is still bright and energetic, an excellent time for deep creative work, studying and gathering information. And then the moon is in Taurus, and moon in Taurus. An earth sign and the zodiac sign symbolizing the home, comfort, decor, and finances. The moon in Taurus is an optimal moon sign for starting long-term projects. You may feel called to spend time at home, in your garden, or in nature. This moon sign is an excellent time to ground yourself by meditating or contemplating your desires outdoors. October 9th, we're going to make a note to be outdoors.
Maybe we'll go for a walk.
Yeah.
We could go for a walk on the beach and look for sea glass. That's actually my grandma's birthday.
October 9th?
Yeah.
Will I be in town October 9th?
I don't know. Will you? I don't know your schedule.
I don't know your life. I will be.
Okay. I will be too.
Yeah, I will be recording that day.
Cool. So maybe
that'll be a regular Thursday morning. So I will have the whole day off, and I have a vehicle now, so we could definitely go to the beach in the morning and do some of that.
I like it.
Beach crawl.
Beach crawl. Okay. Just making plans in the middle of the podcast.
All right. Anyways, okay, where are we?
So yeah, we were talking about the current moon.
Communication.
Yes.
Restless thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just, like I said, I took a week off, basically a whole week off of work to try to feel better, to recuperate. Now I've got a busy week ahead. Although I'm trying my schedule I figured out how many cats I need to groom to make the amount of money I want. So I'm keeping my numbers to that. Excuse me. So like every day I have 3 cats scheduled, except one day I have 4 cats scheduled. But I'm trying to keep my 3 cats a day. That's what I want to do. I don't want to do more than that.
Yeah.
I start to be crabby when I
do more.
Too many. And even though some of them are really easy, like I have one family that's 2 cats, and I can get both cats done in an hour. So that's why I don't mind if I add an extra.
Yeah.
On that particular day, but I'm trying to keep it like 3, and then I make as much as I want to make. And
yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I've been noticing this week as last quarter energy hits. I've definitely been feeling that like need to prune kind of thing. Declutter.
I've been noticing that I think that right now the world's on fire. We just came off of an assassination. Yeah, I mean,
it's not good.
No, it's not good. It's not good,
Yeah.
Maybe. What I find really terrifying is that I don't care. One side is fucking violent. They continually say it's the other side.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a target.
Yeah.
For being who I am. So that's terrifying. We had another school shooting.
Yep.
Same day. Another school shooting. So I think what I've been noticing is
ICE arrested 300 Koreans that were legally here to help give us jobs.
They fucking coming back, and I'm like,
my favorite part.
Come back.
So they were here in order to get the plant ready and then teach all of the Americans how to run it. And then they were going home, and they were here legally on that whatever visa they need for that. And it's like, well, now we just lost an entire fucking
Tell me
plan.
again that it's not about race.
Yeah.
It's clearly, if you'd have made just a few inquiries, you would have known all of that. And would have known they were here legally. You would have known the plan. But instead, you decided they don't look like me. They must be illegal. They must be targeted. And that's what happened. And look, and here's the consequences of your actions. But what I was going to say, what I am noticing is that despite all the fires all around us, I'm actually not feeling chaos, but I'm not feeling, I'm scared. There's always going to be that fear until things really change. There's always going to be some fear, but I'm not like.
Yeah. I will be honest. I am still trying to get my brain to connect to my body. Yeah. So I don't feel a whole lot. But yeah, I do. I get the need to like get rid of things. Of course, then I also want to start new things. Like, let's just get rid of all these and I'll take these.
Yeah. Right.
I wanna start new projects.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Make it stop.
Things
will
we
happen
just have
eventually.
we have to look at
What is
things
gonna
that we
serve
want
us.
to do and right what's going to serve us, but also maybe when to start something. I think it's good to have
Maybe during the
it's good
full
to have
moon.
all the ideas.
Or
Yeah,
no, the new moon.
the ideas I think are good, jotting down,
Mhm.
but not really starting anything.
Yeah. So yeah, we covered the kind of building energy of the waning moon,
right?
waxing moon. Where are you going, Nibs? In our last episode. So now we're gonna look at the winding down end of it in the waning. Yes. Fun fact: the full moons do have names. All of them do, such as the harvest moon, the wolf moon, and the strawberry moon. And I know there's more, but I don't know what the rest of them are.
Yeah, an extra full moon.
Probably like once in a blue moon.
That's when there's like an extra full moon
In the month.
Well, there's always an extra full moon in a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to do your poll?
Sí, señorita. So I pulled. We have again another. No, this is okay. Reversed. Okay, so this is the Three of Swords reversed, which is recovery, forgiveness, moving on, optimism, releasing pain, letting go, with full moon, which is going to be our first segment.
Okay, so yeah, that was a good poll, right? Cool. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Maybe he'll come back over. Said he's just gonna lay there. So yeah, we're gonna start with the full moon. Do you have a thing to read about it in your book?
Yeah, I do. Full moon. The full moon provides clarity and energy. It's the phase with the brightest power. So it is an excellent time to cast spells of any kind or do activities that make you feel alive and powerful.
Yeah.
Peaks, release, and illumination. For grooming, this is ideal for deep clean, full baths, thorough de-shedding, ear cleaning, longer grooming sessions. Pets may be more energetic, so patience is needed.
More energy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, the full moon is very much like very high energy. And we always have that, like, people are being crazy. It's the full moon, and I wonder if it is kind of just like people are feeling this high energy and they don't know how to deal with it. Like, and that's how it's like coming out, is just because a lot of people, they don't know how to deal with that, like those energy shifts. So, interesting thought. Maybe we need to start giving those people a little bit of grace during the full.
Depends on what they're doing.
That's true.
I mean, I'll give you grace, but not them.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel for nurses and doctors because I feel like, you always hear the horror stories of like when you're, I remember working in a gas station as a cashier and just some of the people that would come in and their behavior and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every industry I work in, every time. Working with the dogs, you could tell with the dogs, you could tell with the clients. When I was in healthcare, that was the crazy stuff. Like, the Alzheimer's unit was always interesting on the full moon because they are very people with Alzheimer's tend to be really connected to the lunar cycle. So things got wild during that time. But even, like, I worked fast food, it was the same way there. Like, retail, it was like everyone just, like, you know, it's every industry, it's everywhere, it's not just like. Yeah. And yeah, but it is kind of just crazy to think about how much of that like craziness that we see, and it's really just the moon fucking people. I mean, I still believe if you're a really bad person on the full moon, you're probably not a good person not on a full moon. Like, but like, if maybe you're a little snippier or you ask a really dumb question or whatever, like, there's definitely limits. But Nibbler, I don't like where you're going. Mostly, I'm afraid you're gonna go poop somewhere. 'Cause he's a jerk. But yeah, the tides are the strongest, and sleep disturbances are common.
Yeah, I have a lot of sleep disturbances. You're what the moon's doing.
That's kind of how I feel, but I also I'm like, it's interesting. I might have to keep track of that now.
Rituals. So we can do crystal charging. It's a good time to. That's when you put out your crystals or your water. If you do
Water
Anything you want to charge,
you put out for the full moon.
yeah,
make sure you whatever it is, you're also protecting it now in the morning. So
Yeah,
you don't want to put out your deck of tarot cards and get up in the morning all wet.
yeah, but
but
yeah,
yeah, getting
And you don't necessarily have to put them all the way outside either.
put them in a window. That's why most of my crystals are just in windowsills.
Right.
It's just put them in the windowsill, and they'll always get charged.
Everything.
You can do group circles, dancing, gratitude. This might be. I think I've talked about the idea of the like gratitude jar. It might be a good thing. You could go with the moons, the moon phases. Maybe your full moon is when you start pulling some of those things from the jar and reading them. That would be because it's also probably when your mind is the most chaotic. So gratitude can be helpful getting through that time if you're struggling with all the extra energy. So yeah. Do you feel energized or wiped by full moons?
I generally feel more wiped, and that's the truth. I want so much to be energized by the full moons, but I feel wiped.
yeah.
I tend to miss the full moons a lot, and then it's the next day that I'm like, damn it, there was a full moon last night, and
Yeah. No, I've definitely noticed that I tend to be lower energy during the full moon. It's almost like it's too much energy, and it's just like
My body's like, no, I don't want all this. So it's kind of interesting how that works. Yeah, I don't feel energized by it. I think I feel more energized by like the quarter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, the waxing gibbous.
so.
and it's good to know too, because generally this is very generalized. This doesn't mean this is exactly one for everybody. And that's why it's so important for each of us to individually look at those things. Like when we're journaling, like adding that into our journaling section, like, this is where the moon was and this is how I felt and this is, what I
Yeah.
accomplished or, I wanted to accomplish and didn't, whatever. And paying attention to that because you're right. Because maybe when other people are feeling, oh, the full moon, I have all this energy and this is when I'm going to do all these things, for me, I'm wiped out after full moon, but maybe, the weeks before the full moon is when, I'm going to be more energized and be able to get things done. So that's the stuff you want to be looking at.
Yeah.
Maybe
the
week after maybe that week after the full moon is when, I shouldn't be scheduling those, those feisty kitties or, talked about before. So just knowing yourself.
Yeah, and
And that I think that's what a lot of this is it's kind of teaching you how to learn yourself. And I think some people don't, especially people who aren't into witchy stuff, a lot of them look into it and they're like, "Oh, yeah, they see woo woo." Um, yeah, there's a lot of it's there's a lot of psychology to it. And I think that's really fascinating too. So, what was I gonna say? So, there is a myth that lunacy, the word lunacy is from the word luna, which is a belief in full moon madness. I did not know about this myth. But it is a myth. So,
Well, yeah. Well, there's definitely some. I mean, because we see it. I mean, what's the thing about science is that you can do all the hypotheses and it could be proven, and
yeah,
reality is well, it may not be everybody goes through it. There's definitely some truth there.
yeah.
No wolves.
Um, the analogy, like in grooming, is kind of like stepping back from the finished room and admiring it. Or in some cases, like me, I have to take a picture of the dog to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. We're actually in the last quarter today. So if the full moon feels like a party, the last quarter is more like the cleanup crew afterwards. So that's kind of funny. So next we'll talk about the waning gibbous and the last quarter.
Waning gibbous. This moon is still bright and energetic, an excellent time for deep creative work, studying, and gathering information. Last quarter, you may feel called to finish projects, clean house, or tidy up during this phase. Work magic to clear, release, and let. But I have here last quarter, letting go, clearing, rest, good time for light maintenance, trimming away what's no longer needed, excess fur, overgrown nails, preparing for the next cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, so the waning gibbous, this is, I think, I usually will have, I'll start to get my energy back a little bit, where, during the full moon, I'm pretty exhausted and out of it, and then, I start to feel more normal in the waxing gibbous. Um, for me, it's basically it's about kind of gratitude and sharing, appreciating what you have at the end of that cycle kind of thing, trying to do too many things at once. You could do some rituals. Ancestor offerings are a great one. It's actually funny. That's my ancestor candle that is almost completely out. So what's even funnier, that plate is from when I was in middle school. I was on the contouring team and we went to nationals. And so we made these plates that had, our names and stuff on them. And I kept it for a really long time just, as a decoration, but at this point in my life, like, I have 0 ties to them anymore, other than it was, a cool thing that I did, and my grandma was the coach, so that was cool, but, it's not something I necessarily wanna, have out, but I didn't wanna, just throw it in a box either or throw it away. Um, so I decided to use it for candles. So the first one I did on there was actually one that I made, uh, it was a Yule candle that I made at, Sheepish. And that one actually, I did some, I added some stuff for, there was things for me to have a good year, obviously. But then also it was like I put some things in there to burn, such as because I wanted justice from some certain court cases that I don't want to bring up because they're in court. But I put like stuff like that in there to kind of try to create a spell that way. But yeah, then I did my ancestor candle, and it's kind of perfect because like the plate is tied to my grandma. So cool little side story. It's weird. Actually, this is like the second time today that I've thought of my grandma. I don't think of her third time actually. So the first one, it was I was scrolling through TikTok while I was smoking, and it came across Korean men twirling baton. And so, of course, I got locked in. They were amazing. Like, holy shit. Um, so, and then, they're Korean, so they're beautiful. They're like ethereal almost. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm like watching that, and all I could think was, wow, I wish my grandma was here, which I loved my grandma. She was a great grandma, but she was also not a great person. And like, we definitely would have had a lot of issues in these last like 15 years or whatever since she died, because she we are both both very stubborn. And like, I didn't have a great relationship with her when she died. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like as close as I had been. But I was never as close with her as I was with my grandpa. But yeah, like I'm watching this and I'm like, my like grandma would think this is awesome. Like, not only like she loved baton, she was my coach. And so she loved twirling baton, but then like she did find like she was racist in an ignorant way. So she did find other cultures really interesting. So I feel like she would have really thought that was cool. And like in baton twirling, anytime you see a male twirling baton, it's just like holy shit, because it doesn't happen very often. uh yeah, a lot less than they like how it was with guys in grooming. It was even worse. So, like, anytime we would see a guy twirling baton, we'd lose our shit. But like her seeing, I just like could imagine her seeing these Korean men doing like things we could like tricks that we couldn't even have thought of because they're so good. And she would have died of happiness watching that. And I'm like, and she would have just loved having like TikTok and doing like videos of twirling for like that would be her thing. And so, like, it just made me think, like, about her then, and then, like, you mentioned October 9th, which is her birthday, and then just now, and, like, yeah, I don't regularly think about her, so it's weird. Random thoughts. Came out of nowhere. What were we talking
I don't know. You're on tangents today.
I can't help myself.
Rituals, ancestor offering,
Yeah.
into journaling and altar cleansing.
Yep.
Queen and altar.
Yeah. You just went through that crazy fucking full moon. You gotta clean up afterwards. And then, you know, journal some about how much you are grateful. Yeah. Uh have you ever have you shared knowledge or support with someone recently?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it? Okay.
I attend a meeting on Sundays. It's not a support, but there's a lot of support happening. So it just generally.
I feel like any good energy kind of community like that is going to be supportive.
Yeah. So yeah. So there was some stuff shared just based on we do a reading and then we talk about the reading. Well, I will just say that, the world was on fire, and someone that is a very good friend of mine is, I wouldn't say she's struggling, but she did have a bit of a moment because she made a post, someone commented on the post. It kind of took her, like she kind of knew this person believed some things, but it still kind of took her back a little bit. Like, not even today, but just a couple of days ago, I had kind of, I came at it as a grown up and just, kind of, we don't necessarily understand it.
Yeah.
This, from what I'm gathering, this is the angle they're coming at it. And all I can do is give them the benefit of the doubt.
Which is very impressive for you. Usually I'm the one like, so I hate to do this, but like, benefit of the doubt. It's okay. I give grace too easily, so we'll balance each other out.
I would say that I did I shared some knowledge and some support.
Yeah. I actually, when I'm at the show, at Hershey, we talked about how I didn't get back to the booth for so long because, yeah, it wasn't me sharing. It was them sharing with me because, like, I mean, I try really hard to make my space around me a safe space for people to share things. And so, yeah, it took me 45 minutes to get back. Yeah, but like, it was people sharing things with me and I was like giving them, what advice I could. But also just like one person, I just needed, like, all she needed was a hug. And so I gave her a hug. And I that's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. And there was a lot of hugging happening at Hershey. And so much touching. Yeah, I was very touched out. And like the thing is like I'm not giving out hugs to people I don't want to hug. I hug people because I want to hug them. But like there's so many people I want to hug. But yeah, I gave him a hug. I gave a stranger a hug. And then uh there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I don't know if you saw after we got back, and I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, I posted about how like my Hershey sign out kind of thing. Did you read that? I talked about how I was dissociating. Yeah. So I posted that a very vulnerable post about just like, I loved going to Hershey. It was great, but also it kind of fucking sucked. Yeah. And just like I did that, and then like so many of my comments were like, it's so nice. And like I got some DMs too where they were just like, it's so nice to know that I'm not the only one.
Well, I think that's important too. Like, we often share, like when we were doing the episode before All American, about All American, we talk about, what to bring and what to, how to dress and snacks. And, we basically talk about all the cool things you're going to, be prepared for, and, buy the stuff you want or buy what you need, and then, go back and get what you want, and take the classes and all that stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of just that deep, and we touched a little bit about decompressing afterwards, take the day, take that day off. But we don't always really get into how that really looks and how sometimes ugly that really is. Like, now I was sick. I was legit sick. So I don't necessarily feel like, how I felt after the show is normal, because I was sick. I was sick through the whole show. So even though I had a blast, and it was really cool to be there, I was sick.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing. So that was a whole different level.
Yeah, you had a different experience.
Yeah, different experience, different level of exhaustion that I don't think is quite the same as if you were just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that is an overwhelming show. I've never been to Super Zoo. That was my first time at Hershey.
Yeah,
And
I think I'm
never
gonna
been
try to go to
I've
Super
never
Zoo
been
next
to
year.
Super Zoo. Oh,
I
I
want
want
to
to
do.
do Atlanta and
I
Super
can
Zoo.
only imagine
Yeah.
what Super Zoo is like.
I can tell you Super Zoo is going to be insane. I am going to have to wear my soundproof headphones the whole time. Yeah. I might have to cuz I don't think I can I've seen just videos from Super Zoo. I don't think that I could work in that space without my soundproof headphones on because it is so insanely loud in there. I won't be able to do anything if I don't. My loops aren't gonna do it. So I'd have to be if I work it, it would have to be hey, maybe I have to be a runner kind of thing. Because I can't do that level of loud the whole time. Yeah. I do want to try to go. I have to actually I'm gonna send in some of my proposals.
My goal is
Let's
still
see.
to well, we have to work on our
Yeah.
we have to kind of figure that out. But my goal is still to get to every show at least once.
Yeah.
So there's still shows but I'm going to have to be a little more, which ones I'm going to do just to go to. Or
Yeah. For me, Teton is the one that.
Oh, Teton, I'm not
That's-
working.
that's my
well,
fun.
he doesn't go to Teton.
Yeah, but also it's my fun one.
Them letting us classes, I think, is really important there too. And I feel like you talked about all the networking, and I want to do more networking. And after I really admire. I still admire that you did that you put yourself out there. And it's I want to do that. I want to put myself out there, but I feel like that.
Yeah. We can do it as a team.
That we're there. I genuinely want to get to know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go to some of these shows, it's I don't know that I necessarily want to hang out with that person.
Yeah.
And there were a couple vendors there that I have no interest in getting to know at Teton. You know what's talking about. But the speakers and stuff, I really want to get to know.
Yeah. No,
So,
I think we should try to do more networking next time. I don't
tell him, but I don't think he's gonna go to it next year. I think it's gonna be too much for him. And just doing stuff all day, he was exhausted. So next year I won't have a dog with me.
I won't. Okay.
But I'm just saying, just for networking, it makes it easier. But yeah, no, I think we'd actually be a good team to go out and network because you are a golden retriever. You you just once you lock onto someone, you're gonna be friends with them. Whether they like it or not. But I'm really bad at starting the conversation. But I can once we get going, I'm pretty fucking good at getting people to like me. It's just getting me going. So you get me started. Yep.
Here we go. We're off on tangents again, talking about shows.
Sure are. What were we talking about? Well, we were talking about how if we share knowledge or support. So now we're in last quarter.
So
Okay, we're Waning, gibbous, and last quarter, or did we do that?
we did Waning, gibbous.
Did we talk about? Oh, we did.
Yeah. So we're on last quarter. Did we? We read about it. Okay. So the last quarter is today's moon phase. Today, literally right now, while we're recording. And so the energy is reevaluating, clearing, decluttering. Makes sense why we've both been wanting to do those things. Though I don't know why I felt the need to harvest all of my fucking elderberries the other day. Yeah, body double. Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's what but I don't really have TikTok. Well, I do. I have a TikTok.
Yeah.
So I don't need
to get you 100 followers in order to go live by yourself.
Oh, well, I don't want to go live by myself.
But I could, if like want to do things together, I can like bring you into time.
Well, we could figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it that with the thought of like I need to get some shit done, and
Yeah.
maybe if we were doing it together, it would maybe I'd get some things
Yeah.
done.
You know, I love body decluttering. So like what I was talking about in that is I wanted to do lives on TikTok talks.
So I wanted to do live on TikTok where I basically I'll be live doing my computer work or whatever, and other people can kind of join in and body double it.
Right. They could do whatever they gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it now. I didn't understand it when I first read it, but
yeah.
I understand
it helps kind of with the motivation too, because it's like, well, I can't just sit here.
Right.
They're here. Yep. So, yeah, I think it's more for me than anybody else, honestly, because maybe it does help me start, like, get my shit going. Rituals. You can do cord cutting, banishing, smoke cleansing, reorganizing.
I do smoke cleansing all the time.
Yeah.
Rituals for grooming? Well, like even just the reorganizing. We could do cleansing, and banishing in your grooming room. You know, reorganizing your station and your shampoo, maybe rotating. Some people have different like fall scents that they like to use, so maybe now is the time to start, cycling some of those fall scents into your product lineup.
And cycling your background for your pictures.
Backgrounds for your pictures. Yep,
we really need to talk to our other local groomers to see if they want to do the exchange thing.
We should just do it. We should post something in the Racine Groomers Network. Nobody ever freaking comes to that one. That's the thing. Where it's local, but there's only like 5 of us that actually respond to it when there's something in there. But we could
usually I'm just responding, what's the tea?
It's in the Wisconsin group and just say, hey, Racine Groomers. Go to the Racine Grooming Network page because we've got some stuff coming up local. And
so since we're literally in this energy as we record, what are you being pushed to release right now?
I'm being pushed to release some negativity, for sure. I mean, that was all over my force focus today. And it came up a lot in that meeting I was talking about too. But the negativity, but also I think just stuff that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I really need to just get rid of the stuff that I've been hanging on to that I don't need. And it's not serving me. I need to get rid of it so I can make room for the stuff that will serve me.
Yeah. No, I makes sense. Trying to think. Yeah, most of mine is like decluttering. I just want to get rid of all of the extra clutter. That's what I'm being pushed to do. Yeah, that's about it. And the analogy for that is trimming nails short so they don't snag. So making sure doing the finishing touches on your dog, basically. So next we're going to talk about the waning crescent and dark moon.
Do you have your
waning crescent? Well, instead of telling me both, I'll just do the waning crescent, and then we'll do the dark one.
Okay.
So waning crescent. This crescent is an excellent time to rest, reflect, study, or draw upon your intuition to see what you may like to change or release.
Okay. So
yeah. So get rid of the shit that doesn't fucking work anymore.
Yeah, and just like also rest. I think that's important. Like
you are made the journey.
You gotta rest. So yep. So yeah, deep exhales, retreats, creative downtime. For rituals, you can do dream journaling. There is a lot in dreams that can help. I don't remember a lot of my dreams. Yeah. But if you do, writing them down right away is a good idea. Sometimes they can tell you a lot if you are listening correctly.
So I was doing a lot of that. Probably it's probably been 2 years now.
Yeah.
Menopause brain is really just wipes me out. But there was a time when I was like really able to remember a lot of my dreams, and I was able to pick up on some of the things that, or the things that I should say, the things that I was picking up, I was looking at, okay, what does this mean? And I was discovering a lot of like, yeah. So it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you know, to me, I always say it always goes back to, I have to know who I am.
Yeah.
I have to know myself well for any of that to really make sense. Because otherwise you'll read and it'll tell you like, oh, there's a cat in your dream, that's feminine power. You know, and if you don't really know anything about your own personal self, you might think it means something that so it's good to know yourself for it to look. Because otherwise we can get these ideas that it's something big and it's not. And it may not be big at all. It may be something very, very subtle, but yeah, you got to know yourself to understand it.
Other rituals that you can do are meditation and naps. I like it. I do like to do meditation. In fact, will probably after this, will go out and stand in my yard so I can touch grass for a little bit. Yeah, no, just try to bring myself back to my body. I'm working on it. So, but I also like naps. Naps sound good. Do you resist rest or do you lean into it?
This came up too after a meeting this morning. A friend of mine, she's been doing a lot of traveling, and they just came back from Glacier National Park. So we were just kind of talking about, and somebody else, a friend of mine, another friend, they're getting ready to do a very quick trip to San Diego where they're going to be like less than 48 hours. But they've got a ton of stuff planned. So we were just kind of chit-chatting about all the traveling and, you know, and talking about how, you know, the one friend was saying she just wants to sit on the beach, and the other friend and I are like, I mean, I'll stand at the beach, but like 15 minutes and I'm ready to go do something else.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just who I am. So my itinerary is packed for whatever we're doing. It's like, oh, now we got to be here. Oh, we got an hour. Now we got to be there. Because I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something. I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something. So I resist rest. The other thing is because I sleep so poorly at night that I'm constantly afraid if I doze off, if I rest, if I sit down and actually like relax to the point of I might take a nap. I love the idea of naps, but they scare the hell out of me because if I take a nap,
that takes
I'll be
away
up all night.
Yeah. No, that's valid. So
I also tend to resist rest. I have to force myself to rest a lot. I've gotten pretty good at forcing myself to rest, I will say. Not great, but pretty good. I'll take it.
Than I used to be, but still.
Yeah, I will say, like, with traveling, I tend to be I don't like to have time restraints when I'm traveling, so we don't, like, schedule things usually. Uh, and even, like, when I travel with John, like, if it was up to him, it would be, like, a schedule. And instead, we have, like, a list of things that we might wanna do.
I try because when I travel with Sam, he doesn't like.
Yeah.
So I try to be mindful. Yeah, like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do one thing a day.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's too much. I remember when I finally had that realization. We're actually my oldest daughter, Rhiannon, she was pregnant with her first, and we were out in California and we went to Big Sur. And he had been talking about going to Big Sur. I want to go to Big Sur. I want to go to Big Sur. It's like, okay, let's go to Big Sur. And well, Big Sur is a big pub. And so I'm like, well, we want to do that.
Yeah. I just wanna go to Big Sur.
It's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to see? And there was just like, I couldn't get it out of him. And we got there and we were like not communicating because I was aggravated because he didn't have a point of interest that we were going to. Like we had no destination. And so he was quiet because we had been, I mean, not really bickering, but we weren't really like, there was
on
this,
the same page.
on the same page. There was the communication was just not there. And we were walking and I think we got to the water. Like when there's different paths you go down. We got to the actual water. And all of a sudden, so it's been quiet. Like none of us are really talking. We're just walking. And all of a sudden it hit me that we don't vacation the same. Like he wants to relax on his vacation. He doesn't want to have shit to do. Because I want shit to do. Like I act like I go to a place and it's the first and last time I'm ever going to be there. So I have to see all the things.
Yeah.
And that's how I behave. And that's what I want, right? Like I want to see, I don't need to spend 4 hours in a museum. I can run through a museum really fast. I've been there. I've been to that museum. I did that museum. I didn't see everything. I didn't read everything, but I've been to that museum, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Where she'll want to like walk real slow.
I will say I appreciate that you go through museums fast. I like museums, but I don't like to spend all day there.
Like there'll be things that I might get pulled in to a certain
area
of it, aspect, yeah. That I may spend a little more time. Same with a zoo.
Yeah.
I love zoos. But I don't need to spend all day in a zoo.
Yeah.
Like I can roll through a zoo pretty quick too, because guess what? I've seen elephants. I've seen them all. Like I've seen all these animals. I have yet to come across an animal that it's like, oh my god, I've never seen one. A koala bear. Still haven't seen a koala bear. So go to the zoo with a koala bear. That's where I'm going to be like locked in. But like a lot of these other animals, like I've seen them. I've been to enough zoos. I've seen these animals. I enjoy seeing them. I love seeing them.
But you don't need to sit there.
I don't need to sit there all day and watch the polar bears die or the otters swim, right? Like I don't need to watch that. But yeah, that was my aha moment in vacation, the same. And I'm pretty sure apologize because I was behaving like a maniac.
Yeah.
What are we here for? And we were just there to enjoy there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed there when I allowed myself to enjoy. And since then, we've had other times where we go, like when we went to the whole rainforest, we just meandered and it was very slow and just enjoyed it. And that was it. The woods. We spent a lot of time there. There's a little place in, I think it's in Monterey, called Point Lobel that we spent a lot of time there. And I loved it. But I can't do that like every day of a trip.
Yeah.
That's like a day. I can have that day where it's very leisure. We do almost nothing. But you better believe the other 3 days, I'm doing something. You can stay back and just, relax. And he will a lot. Like when we go to California with the kids, he'll stay. He'll just hang out at the house.
Honestly, so I want to go do things on my trips, but I have physical limitations a lot of times. So, and John likes to do things and has less physical limitations. So there's a lot of times where like I'll just be like, you can go do that thing that you want to do and I'll stay here. Like when we were in the Colorado, I really struggled with the elevation sickness. Yeah, and so it was rough. I enjoyed everything, but like it was just rough. And they went for a hike. And I was planning on going, and it was like after a few days of other things, and I was just like, there's no way. I can't do it. And I'm glad I did because turns out that it was a lot harder of a hike than they were expecting. So
I've been on those too, where it's moderate. The hell,
moderate. It was when we went to Scotland for our honeymoon. We went on one hike, and it was labeled as easy. Okay. And it was basically you hiked out and it was hiking out to where in the Harry Potter movies in the Goblet of Fire, when he's fighting the dragons and there's that whole like and a waterfall, and so that's where they taped it. They filmed it, and so we went out it basically was hiking out there so you could see it, which it was beautiful. I did not make it all the way to the end because we did know that there was no. So it did tell us like it's easy until you get to this specific bridge. And I'm like, I might not be able to make it across the bridge because it was a rope bridge where it was you stood, there's a rope that you walk on and two that you hold on to. And I'm like, nope, I can't do that. Nope. I got up on the thing to even like try. I'm like, nope, I can't do it. But we knew we'd be able to see the falls from there because a lot of people stop there. But like, I actually don't remember the way out because I like blacked out basically. We were hiking like across fucking like waterfalls and like times when you're literally turned sideways and your feet are sideways and there's like sheer cliff in front of like on one side of you and sheer cliff on the other, and I'm like, this is not easy.
Here, we spent a couple extra days so we could do some stuff, and we went to a water, and they had this giant staircase leading up to this viewing area where you can like see all of them at the same time. We started walking up that staircase, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I physically cannot continue up the staircase, and I felt bad. And I said, you can go, but I can't. And I all of a sudden, I'm afraid to even walk down the stairs. Like I've never been afraid of heights. But for some reason, I mean, I was having a hard time catching my breath, which, again,
Colorado.
I'm walking up. So I had all that, and I'm walking.
Cans of oxygen.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. bought one. And then I was terrified to come back down. Like I was just like, I can't do this. Like I not feel safe.
Yeah.
And let me walk back down, and it was fine, and he didn't do it. But
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about, do you resist stress or lean into it? So yes, we both tend to resist. I'm learning to not. The dark moon. You want to read about the dark moon?
it says, as the moon cycle comes to an end, this phase can bring about important insights during shadow work and meditation. Allow time to look within and know yourself.
When is the next dark moon? Yeah, the main themes that it has. I mean, it's dark moon, the surrender, endings, shadow work. Themes are silence, void, closing chapters. It's the end of the journey.
Rude.
Full, new first quarter, full last quarter. So I imagine it's right between the.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, what is that?
Well, you're looking that up. Some rituals that we can do. Shadow journaling. Shadow work is very important. Okay.
Yeah, new moon is the 21st. So the 20th would be the dark.
Okay.
Do that Saturday. Oh, well, no, this will air.
um,
Still, do some shadow journaling. It's a good time for ancestor contact and deep protection magic. Nibbler, we're almost finished.
It says some witches avoid working at all during the dark.
Yep.
Well, maybe that's the time when, you do your protection magic, and then you just
Kind of
settle in and do some journaling, maybe, but you don't really
some
do
reflection kind of stuff.
Tie in with so we're heading towards that silence now. The last quarter is the ramp down that makes space for it. So we're going into the sounds of silence. Sorry. And this is like shutting off the salon lights at the end of the night, which I think is a great analogy. You went through your stuff, you took your little rest. Maybe you were writing notes or whatever. Maybe that's the one before last quarter. Maybe that's when you're doing notes. Or no, Waning Crescent. Maybe you're doing notes. That's your journaling and stuff. And you're resting. And yeah, I think that's great. We can do the poll. So Nibbler pulled this one. What did I do? All right. So this one is Magnificence. You see the picture? So the flower is the bird of paradise, and the butterfly is the common mother of pearl. All things that I can read. Also known as the crane flower, birds of paradise are one of the most unique and magnificent plants grown in gardens today. Initially from South Africa, they spread to Europe in the late 1700s and have since been cultivated around the world. They do very well in sunny, warm weather, and their dense, bushy base and tall flower heads mean they can be used as an ornamental centerpiece as well as ground cover. Their thick, firm stalks and heads make them perfectly designed for pollination by the songbirds, which perch on the beak-shaped head and drink nectar from the petals. As they drink, the flower opens to release pollen onto the bird's feet and chest, where they can carry from flower to flower. That's interesting. Magnificence is defined as impressively beautiful, elaborate, extravagant, and striking. This card challenges you to determine what it means to live a majestic life and to actively go out and live it. How can you live fully and marvelously? Do the small things, incorporate more of what you feel to be glorious in your daily life.
Nice.
Coming down.
It's more about rest and
We're almost done, buddy. Come on, we're almost done.
me.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Do
want
we want
to
to
do
do the
We've
ending?
we've been talking about this throughout, inviting our listeners to track their next lunar cycle. So
Yeah.
let's see what it does for you. You know what? Cool. Yeah, let us know comments in the, either in the witchy group or in the, the enchanted grooming page, just let us know what you discovered about yourself, during maybe a particular moon phase.
Yeah.
When something works or doesn't work.
I love that.
All right. So, as above, so below. May your pets be clean and your spirits glow.